Good morning, everyone. Today is the 12th of June, Thursday. This is Brad Matheny, 5:10 in the morning, roughly. This is the Plan Your Trade video, and we are looking at the SPY this morning. Now, the markets are rolling a bit downward. SPY is down almost 3 points, down 0.5% overnight. We are looking at that rolling out of my expected flag level. So we haven't quite rolled completely out of it. I mean, the reality here is I've got these lines drawn from many months ago or many weeks ago, and we're kind of rolling right up along this area and starting potentially a breakdown. Let's label the breakdown here. And there's my morning cat making noise. We'll leave the breakdown here. Potential breakdown, okay, in blue. Not guaranteeing it's going to happen. Not saying you all should, get short, whatever, dump your shares. This is why I've been telling you guys to be prepared for this rollover. If it happens, when it happens, we're looking like we could get a little bit of a rollover here. But again, we would need to see, in my opinion, probably this 590 area, this recent low taken out right here. So I will highlight that right in this area. Yep, 590. Basically 590. Come here. Roughly 590.75. So let's put a piece of text over here. 590.75. That would be what I would consider a breakdown level, sufficient enough to qualify as a move into a potential deeper downward move. Now, the 575, 576 level is still valid. We have these other intermediate levels here that I've kind of highlighted. This one in the back, I'll have to try to get behind everything else. But again, we are rolling up into this channel off of these highs. Bring this up. And again, this puts us right in the midst of the Fibonacci zone here. Right in that area. So you see that 590.75 level puts us right in the middle of the Fibonacci zone. In reality, folks, the lower zone down here is right here in this area, this green area, 576, 577. That's our real critical breakdown level. So again, right here, this level is our real critical breakdown level. I'll mark that in a very light blue. And so you can see that we need to kind of get down into this level and below that level to really initiate a big breakdown. That's going to move us down potentially into this 510, 520, 530 area. But we're not there yet. We are technically still moving into a rollover. We are consolidating, and we have yet to get below this 590 area. Remember, this 590 area that I've highlighted here, actually this blue line here, this is the area where we are looking at the critical move right now. This is the last standout low. This is the basically this would indicate short-term bearish trending moving down here. This would indicate longer-term bearish trending down over here, which I've highlighted with this red arrow here. And this would indicate again that we are potentially moving downward if we got below this 576 area. In the meantime, we can still stay in bullish trending up here as long as we stay above that 590.75 area, which is right there. So we're looking at a pretty interesting potential rollover here. Not calling it as a breakdown, but certainly moving into some weakness here below the ultimate high way up here and off of a pretty high rotation right here. We need to see how it plays out. So the SPY cycle pattern today is way back over here through all of that is a base rally pattern in trend mode. I would read this after yesterday's kind of rotation as a stalling potential pattern. Unless we get some big news, I would expect the markets to stall out. You were at 598.26, down about a half a percentage point. I would kind of expect the markets to stall out. If I come back over here to hourly, given where we're at down here near these levels, I would kind of expect an opening down in this area, potentially filling this gap down here, and then maybe a bit of a stall in that area. So kind of rolling, maybe filling this gap area right over here. This is the gap area here, between here and here. And maybe just moving down into that low, into that 594, 593.80 low, and then trying to find some support, maybe back up to 596, 597. Ultimately, like I said, it's this low that is the critical low. So we need to see how things play out at or near this level. If we break below this 590.75 level, then more than likely we're going to come down and try to fill this level, 583, 585, and then potentially down here to 578 and then 575. We'll see how things play out. And again, kind of an interesting setup right now. So we shall see. Okay. Gold and silver. Gold and silver were making a big move. Gold was, finally. This is a 4-hour gold chart. We're back above 3,400. This could be a very big move for gold. I've talked about it. Silver and platinum have made a pretty solid move up. Silver's moving higher after this deep pattern, which I believe was news about the Middle East. If you're following anything, there's tensions brewing in the Middle East. Iran threatening to attack U.S. territories in the Middle East and so forth and so on. But anyway, you can go look that up if you want. The real reality here is metals appear to be hedging against risks. So understand that we're moving into a move. I'm going to look up platinum real quick. Stalling a bit overnight. Let's go back to daily. Stalling, still trending. Platinum has moved considerably higher. Okay, really big breakout move here. And as I was telling you guys, this is a pretty solid breakaway rally in platinum. And I believe that silver and gold are going to follow along. This is kind of like, think of them as marching soldiers. When gold's moving higher, silver's moving higher, and platinum's moving higher, you have a pretty large fear factor taking place in metals, and that could lead to a pretty big explosive move. Now, as I mentioned to you before, I really do believe that gold is trying to make a move up here into this 30, 35, 3,600 area. Really, I think 3,700 up in this area is the next big target for gold. And silver, I've been talking about this for a long time, moving up into the $41 to $44 area. So here was the $37 area. We're getting close to that. And we've gotten actually above it here, but really the upper target is this $41 to $44 area. So we'll kind of highlight this here. 41 up to 44 being kind of the area where I think silver really wants to go to. Okay, so pretty big move. If we do see a big rally here from gold up into this $3,600, $3,700 area in this area, then I don't see any reason why silver couldn't rally up into this $41, $42, $44 area very aggressively. And that would probably put platinum, up in the 15. So let's see here, just measurably, yeah, $1,500, $1,600 area fairly aggressively. Platinum's had some big moves, guys. I mean, you're talking 30, 40, $50 moves here in platinum in a day. That means that you could get a very big move to the upside on some global fear, and all it would take would be some catalyst to break out in the Middle East. That would send gold skyrocketing, could potentially send oil quite a bit higher, depending on disruptions. I mean, it could be a very interesting play. Okay, and Bitcoin. Let's take a look finally at Bitcoin. Oh, let's look at the gold, silver. We have a breakdown pattern today in trending mode. So we'll see the gap stall revert flush pattern in a breakout mode. So that was an expanding mode. Now we're in a breakout mode, and we have a breakdown pattern. So that would indicate a potential downward move. So we'll see what happens today, if there's some news or disruption that kind of changes things. But very interesting setup here in metals. Like I said, I think gold is trying to make a move up here into 3450, 3500, which again would be back to near these previous highs. And oops, wanted to keep that and get rid of this. So we need to kind of watch this upper zone for a breakout. That's 3511 roughly. And, that's where I think we're going to really be looking for a big move. That 3511, once we get above there, we're new all-time highs. Whereas silver right now is already at new highs. Okay, we have not been this high in a long while in silver, since 2010, 2009. So we're looking at a pretty big move here. Silver ultimately could rally up to 80, 90, $100, and that would put gold up in the, in reality, guys, if silver's $90, gold's going to be 9, 10, 12,000. So we'll see how this plays out. Okay, back over here to Bitcoin. Rolling, stalling. This is daily. Playing out through this zone here. You can see that we're clearly outside of this flagging zone, stalling. What's interesting is that we have set up this new excess phase peak pattern, rolling up, coming down, flagging. So you can see how the excess phase peak patterns play out continually as we're rolling through these cycle trends. It looks like we're getting ready to break out below this lower cycle. In fact, let me redraw those so you can see them a little better. Rally up, come down, and then you can see this flagging across here. And it looks like we're starting that breakdown mode here, guys. You can see how we've already started to break down below the flag. The move here, if it follows through, would be a move down to and through this consolidation point, down into consolidation before attempting to break downward. So this would be the intermediate or the shorter term excess phase peak pattern, breaking down to these flag lows, these 10, what is this? This is the low here. Try to catch this low, 101,450. Yep, that's correct. So 101,450, we'd be kind of looking at that as the low. And really the ultimate low down here is 145. So I'll make this, whoops, get rid of those. $104.50, get rid of that. That's that ultimate low down here. And this is the 103 resistance support level. So again, we could stay in this rolling trend. Ultimately, guys, we have to get down below this level, this bigger level here. That's the breakdown level. Anywhere back over here is a moderate breakdown. We've got the rolling top. We've got the dual excess phase peak patterns. You can see them here. We're rolling into a very interesting kind of a dual excess phase peak pattern. This bigger, broader excess phase peak pattern here, I've highlighted what the breakdown would potentially look like, moving down potentially into consolidation here, and then potentially moving down into a breakdown mode over here. So you can see that, oops, These areas have not changed. These are pretty much the same as what they are. And all I'm doing is I'm looking at this range, this envelope, this flag, and realizing that we could get roughly the same amount of flag down. I don't expect Bitcoin to go to zero. Oh, these are drawings way back over here showing you what the excess phase peak pattern really is, how it's constructed, how it works, what to expect. Get rid of these real quick so you can see. And like I said, I do not expect Bitcoin to collapse all the way back down here to 10, 8, 10, 12,000. It's not going to happen. The next move would be to eliminate this post-election rally. So this big rally mode from here on up would eliminate through a move down back into this consolidation zone. So we're really looking at potentially moving back into the, $52,000 to $64,000 area on this next big breakdown, if it happens. Okay, if it happens. Okay, so we are going to end it there. I'm going to let you guys see how this plays out. We've got to watch what happens with this little excess phase peak pattern, and we will go from there. I'll go back to the SPY, see if we've got any news. Nothing yet. Looks like we're still rolling a little sideways. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you later. Go get some today. Looks like it could be a good move end of June in metals. Talk to you later.